That sounds fine.
What's the good in there?
Welcome back to the Moonjuice Horror Metal Podcast, the podcast where we live and breathe heavy metal and horror, but are not afraid to shit all over both of them. I'm Matt. Okay. So if I fucked it up the first time, then I'll go back and I'll edit some crazy shit into it. And we haven't fucked it up in a while. It's been a hot minute.
Actually, it's been I mean, it's actually quite some time since we fucked up the intro. No? Yeah.
Yeah. So today is kind of a very special day because me and Mike have kind of been waiting for this opportunity. We realize ahead of time, I'm not going to apologize for it because if you're a horror fan, you're also a werewolf fan, but we do a shit ton of werewolf films on this podcast, Mike.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's only 3 or 4. Yeah, but we've done quite a few.
No, I think I want to say it's been more than 4. Like I could go back through it and pull up the names of the films, but I think this might be 5. I think this might be the 5th werewolf film we've done.
Could be.
Now, it's debatable if you want to call Wolfman a werewolf film. I don't count that one because that film had absolutely nothing to do with werewolves.
You mean the remake? The remake, yeah.
Yes, the remake had absolutely nothing to do with werewolves.
No, that was not a werewolf movie. I mean, yeah. So, okay. I want to count up. We did werewolves, skinwalkers, howling, Wolfman. What else did we do? God,
we haven't done Dog Soldiers yet.
No, Dog Soldiers we haven't done yet. No, but I think it's 4. No, so this could be the 5th one.
Yeah, this would be the 5th one. 4th one if you don't want to count Wolfman, because let's face it, that was just a furry crackhead.
Yeah, that was a very angry crackhead. That's all it was. Yeah.
Okay, so why are we talking about all this? Okay, so Mike and I have werewolf movies that obviously we're both big werewolf fans, but at the same time there are only, Mike might have more, but there are only 2 that I have in my head that stick out as like the pinnacle of what a werewolf movie should be, right? Dog Soldiers is one of them for multiple reasons. But this one right here, it's arguable. I would say this one is better than Dog Soldiers for a lot of reasons, but it is the classic. It is the one that kind of brought werewolves into popular culture in the 80s in a way that just started the fever, and for a really, really good reason, right? Story, acting, transformation, all the things that you want in a werewolf movie, this has all of it. All of it and more in buckets full, right? And what movie are we doing today, Mike?
We're doing American Werewolf in London. One of the best werewolf movies ever made, literally. It's definitely on very top notch for me. For me, of course, American Werewolf, Dog Soldiers are definitely although Dog Soldiers is an insanely good movie. I'm not sure if I would consider it to be one of my favorite werewolf movies when it comes to transformation. I mean, and the werewolf design is phenomenal in Dog Soldiers. No? Yeah. But
I think honestly for Dog Soldiers, really the only thing it's missing though, isn't it? Is a good transformation scene.
Yes. In Dog Soldiers, I can't remember any full transformation scene. I can't remember that. No? For me, the pinnacle...
Not there.
Yeah, for me, the pinnacle of werewolves is this movie, American Werewolf in London, and the 1980s TV series Werewolf. No? Those are, for me, the pinnacles. It has always been of werewolves. And what a lot of people might know, because the 1980s Werewolf TV series is a cult classic, and it only aired for one season, again it got canceled because it did not have high ratings and wasn't viewed very often. The creature effects and transformation effects in that series are made by the same guy that did American Werewolf in London. I'm not
Yep.
sure if John Landis was responsible. He directed and wrote the movie, no, American Werewolf in London. But I'm not sure if he was responsible for the transformation effects in it. No.
I think he is. It's also the same guy. I mean, I may be misremembering, but I think it's the same guy who did The Fly as well. I remember us mentioning that when we did the film, is that the creature effects in The
Okay.
Fly were the same. It was the same creature effects artist who did American Werewolf in London, but I could be misremembering it. I might be thinking of a different film, but either way, if you're into transformation sequences in horror movies,
Mm-hmm.
The Fly is a great example of how that can be done very well. The
Yeah.
Thing is another example of how that goes very well, and then of course American Werewolf in London, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Werewolf TV series that you just talked about, which by the way we probably will end up doing in some way because I feel like we'd be doing a disservice to the horror community by not doing it because if that is something that slipped your radar, then you definitely need to go back and watch it. It's
Yes. Yes.
fucking brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah,
Fucking
totally.
brilliant.
Yeah. Because but for me it was actually the 1980s TV show Werewolf. That was the first thing I ever saw when it came to werewolves. I watched it with my grandma.
You saw that before this?
Yes, yes. I saw that TV series before American Werewolf in
Okay.
London. I didn't see American Werewolf in London until
Okay.
I was 16 or 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I definitely saw this one first.
yeah. For me, it was just like the TV series that just that instantly when I saw that show, I was just instantly a werewolf fan. I love werewolves straight up for the first time when I saw that show.
Yeah.
And of course, I already heard of American Werewolf in London. In the time, my parents wouldn't let me watch it. Now, and for some reason, I don't know, it was one horror movie I did not watch with my grandma. And by the time I actually wanted to watch it, I was already living in Germany.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It was sometime between 13 to 17. It might have even been earlier when I saw it. No?
Okay.
And I didn't see it until it first was aired on German television. But that was when I first saw it. Now, of course, it's German television, so it was cut very, very badly. I mean, I remember the full The only thing that they did not really cut when it came to blood and gore was the transformation scene. Even though for a very big part, American Werewolf in London is not really that gory, except for a few
It's not.
scenes. I mean, I would literally
Yeah,
say
it's not.
the most, I would say also the most scary part of the movie is definitely the transformation scene, because it is also it is one of the most horrifying werewolf transformation scenes because it shows very, very slowly how painful this is, and this makes it entirely brilliant.
It's excruciating. Yeah.
Yeah. it's
I think this movie is light on gore, but it's not light on violence. If that makes any sense. Like,
yes.
so it's very violent. It's a rough watch in some parts, at least for the time that it came out, because of how like really hard the transformation sequence is. Like it's a very violent watch. But a lot of the violence and gore that happens in this is not actually happening. It's in dreams, right? So the main character has dreams as he's going through his transformation process into a werewolf, and his dreams are horribly violent. And that shows up there, but it's not actually happening. The real violence happens at the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end once his full transformation has come out, right?
Yeah. That's when the real violence in the movie happens.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I would also say, there's an argument amongst horror fans, and I would love to say that this movie started horror comedy, but it didn't. But it is a great example of how you can make comedy and a horror movie funny at the same time that you make it terrifying. Kind of the same way Evil Dead 2 did, right?
Yeah.
But less slapstick. But this movie's also very funny. it's got some funny scenes in it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Like the humor is there, dude.
Yeah.
Through the entire film, and it's pretty good. Um, there's also, and I don't know if you caught this, Mike. There's also a few appearances, nerdy appearances by people that have something to do with creature design, right? There's a scene in the hospital, and when we get to it, I'll point it out. But there's a character in here that is absolutely hilarious who's playing him. And when we get to it, I'll point it out. But did you know that Jim Henson had a lot to do with this film?
No.
Yep. Jim Henson from the Muppets had a lot to do with this film too. In very subtle ways in creature design, in terms of like animatronics and stuff like that.
Yeah, he probably designed the werewolf. No.
He had something to do with it, but he didn't design it. His hand was in it, obviously, because at the time he was the master of that kind of thing. Because this is before CGI, thank God. And so, if you wanted anything done with animatronics or something that looked real, you went to Jim Henson. So he kind of guided their hand with this, but I don't think he had anything to do with the transformation sequence. I think it's specifically the werewolf, which this is a good-looking werewolf.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking werewolf.
It is, absolutely. I would say this is like, the werewolf is phenomenal in this movie, but it's also, it's one of, I would say, one of the, I mean, it's a werewolf that walks on all four legs, because you never see it standing up on two legs. And this is one of the, I would say, there's not a much werewolf movies that do this type of werewolf good, that it actually seems to be a monster. No? Because in the most werewolf movies that do this type of a werewolf, it's mostly a dire wolf or just looks like a mutated wolf. No? I mean, for example, no matter how much I love the movie, Ginger Snaps, for example, they do that. No? Even though it's a great movie, it looks more like a Genobel mutated wolf than an actual werewolf. That is like the only, but this is like where the only werewolf walking on all fours I've ever seen in a movie, where you see that, and yes, that just looks like a monster. It looks like some supernatural being that comes from some kind of dark magic curse shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, what's always the discussion in werewolf vampire movies, does it have a biological nature or a supernatural nature? That's also very often discussed when it comes to this kind of stuff. But it's clearly stated that this is a supernatural based werewolf. No? But we're not into the cast yet, Matt. No?
Yeah, go ahead and get into the cast.
But before I do that, if you like our podcast, and specifically this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like, because it really helps us out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, of course, the movie is directed by Jonathan Landis. No? Or John Landis, I think his name. He's very known for horror movies. And for creature effects. The creature effects in his movies are really known for. Then we have David Naughton, that plays David Kessler, the American Werewolf. No? Jenny Agutter, that plays Nurse Alex whatever. No? Griffin Dune, that plays Jack Goodman. And John Woodvine, that plays Dr. J.S. Hirsch. I mean, God damn it. I have rarely seen in a movie so much actors listed. No? But everybody else is just kind of like a standard or small side characters, no? So I'm not going to go into all of them, because it'll probably take me an hour just to.
There's a shit ton of actors.
It's a pretty straightforward story, except for the beginning. We have like dream sequences. Well, the story starts out with the two guys, David and Jack, no? Hitchhiking through England's country.
Yeah, it's in Yorkshire, England, which is all countryside.
Yeah. However, they get off this truck And the one guy is like, "Oh, isn't it great to be here?" And then Jack is like, "Are you fucking kidding? There's nothing here." No? And then David is like, "Oh, but it's awesome. Come, let's go walking." Okay, so then they just go walking through the countryside, and by the time they find some kind of civilization, it's a very, very small town. That's literally only a few houses, so that a really
it's a
very
village.
small village.
It's a very small village. Yeah.
And of course, it's nighttime. It's cool and everything. So they're probably just looking for something to eat and drink and maybe somewhere to stay. And they come across like the only pub in this small village called the Slaughtered Lamb, where you have on the emblem it has like
This is your first hint. This is your first hint that something might be up.
Exactly. It's the first hint in the movie that this might be odd because the only pub they come across is the Slaughtered Lamb. However,
it's pretty ominous. Like I think if I had come across this even like nowadays, I would have been like, something's not quite right about this. But that gets worse as they go in the bar. So
yeah. However, they go into the bar, no, and then you see like people, having drinks, playing chess, playing darts or whatever. A typical bar situation, but when they come in, everybody's quiet all of a sudden, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, yeah, okay. And then David says like, yeah, it's cold outside and could we just come in, no? And then like apparently the bar owner, the lady says, yeah. They take off their jackets, put down their backpacks, and sit on a table that is free. And when they're sitting down, they start talking, and Jack notices on the wall like this weird looking symbol. And then they have a discussion about that. It's a pentagram. Now, I mean, a pentagram, a 5-sided star, but without the circle around it.
Yeah.
And then they have a discussion about, okay, what is going on? Because they notice, like, okay, they're in a pub called the Slaughtered Lamb. They have a pentagram with candles. And then they have like this, and then he's like, "Oh, that's kind of witchcraft stuff or whatever." And then David is like, "No, it's actually protection against witchcraft or whatever." Yeah. I mean, considering that it's a werewolf movie, it's obviously what it's for. I mean, that's it's meant to wear off the werewolf, no? Basically.
Yeah, I think one of them even says it's who is it? It's Jack. Jack says, that's the symbol for the Wolfman. Right? This is what he says in the film, and I'm like, I don't remember that being the symbol for the Wolfman, so I'm not sure where he got that, but that's what he says.
Yeah, but I mean, there've been 2 Wolfman movies before this, before this movie was made, and to a certain degree, you can say that American Werewolf in London is kind of a reimagining of Wolfman, no? To a certain degree, no? Because there are a lot of similarities. No? Yeah. However, one guy in the bar that's an older man says something towards them. I don't remember what it is. David gets into a conversation with this old man, and that lightens up the entire situation. No? Even though specifically all the other people in this bar, everything gets lightened up, and then now they all seem to have a great time. All of the villagers in this bar are interacting with David and Jack. They're drinking, having a little bit of fun, making jokes back and forth. So apparently, okay, the people aren't really that bad. It's just they were kind of skeptical in the beginning. No? Then, after a few minutes, the dumbest reason, Jack decides to scream out of the top of his lungs, "What's that symbol on the wall?" And that shocks everybody.
Typical fucking Americans, dude.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it's fucking. I mean, for one, these are very. If you come and get a sign like that in the Slaughtered Lamb, these are clearly superstitious people. Asking somebody about that is something you would do. You would go to a singular person, no, and you would just like the bar owner, and be quiet, whispering like, "Hey, I noticed that symbol on the wall, and what does that mean?" That's something you would do, but not like in the middle where everybody's joking, the entire situation is lightened up or whatever, and everybody's having fun. Do something like that. Of course, what happens? That instantly kills the mood, and one guy even misses the dart sign when he hits the dart, and this is like apparently a guy that's super euphoric towards dart throwing or whatever, and he gets super fucking pissed. he walks up to them and is like, I missed the that has never happened to me, that I missed my target.
You made me miss.
You
is what
made
he
me
says.
miss.
You made me miss.
Yeah. Okay. This of course again totally changes the mood again, because now everybody's pissed off, because apparently somehow this offended everybody in the bar now. No. And then the one guy that missed his target was like, you guys have to go now. Get the fuck out of here. No? And obviously because they're...
Yeah, what a weird change.
I know. I mean, it's because of the sign. However, but of course, because they're strangers, the rest of the villagers side with him. No? And they don't really say much about it. Just the most people don't say anything at all or whatever. No?
Yeah, it's kind of it's the whole, if you give something a name or you reference it or you speak about it in some way, you give life to it, right? Yeah. Funny enough, Mike, this exact same thing has happened to me in Europe, and about a werewolf, which I was kind of waiting for this part, because there's a town called Moorbach in Germany, and it's over by the Mosel River.
Yeah.
And I think I've told you about this before. There's a candle burning in the center of the town that's behind glass. There's a werewolf legend, and there's a candle in the center of the town that's behind glass that never goes out because somebody keeps going and lighting it. They believe that if you blow out the candle, or if the candle doesn't stay lit, then the werewolf comes back. There's some history behind that. Supposedly a werewolf attacked the military base at the time, right? And so, and that was back in the early 80s. And so since then, they've had a candle burning in the center of the town. And it's really fucking weird. And so I went to the town and went to a local restaurant and, of course, asked the person that was behind the bar, what's the deal with the candle? Can you tell me more about it? And his answer was, we don't talk about that here. So this actually happened.
Yeah.
And then I got the cold shoulder from him and then a couple other people in the bar that had probably heard that I asked him about it. So this is a very real thing. Like, this could actually happen. This did happen. And it's like, if a town has a curse, or if they have something that their town is known for that's dark, the people that live there don't want to give words to it, because if you give words to it, then you make it real. Yeah. And so foreigners coming from outside, specifically dumb Americans, asking about it is not necessarily a good thing. And that's what happens here. Yeah. The mood changes in this bar like this.
Yes.
Like, exactly. Everybody's happy, everybody's telling jokes, everybody's laughing. You mention the pentagram on the wall and the werewolf, and all of a sudden everybody wants you to leave. That's exactly what happens to these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, however, then of course, David and Jack are getting on their jackets. Okay, we'll leave. Nah, whatever. No, we don't want to cause any trouble. And then the bar owner is like, you can't let them leave. You can't. No, not now. And he's like, oh yeah, but we want them. Then a guy that misses, no, we want them. And then he says, but you can't. That would basically be murder. No. And then they're all kind of quiet. No, because they're to a certain. They're like, well, she's not wrong, but we don't want them here. No. Then the guy that missed the target tells them, stay on the road. Do not leave the road. No. Just keep walking and don't leave the road. This is also the first hint that not only do these people know of the werewolf, obviously, they even know where it usually lives and where it usually hunts. To a certain degree, you can also, something I went across myself in this part of the movie, and this is something that I'll be able to talk about, do these villagers even know who the werewolf is?
That's a good question. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because the thing is, they tell them specifically, to stay on the road and don't go into the
moors.
The moors, yeah, exactly. It's pretty well known where the werewolf usually hunts and where it usually kills people. So I would say to guess they probably also know who the werewolf is, maybe, or they might suspect who he is. No,
yeah,
we could talk about this shit for hours. I would guess there are probably multiple. Because you have it feels like the entire village is gathered in this bar, specifically on full moon nights. I mean, it's a no-brainer why, but I would also guess there might be other gathering points where they have something similar. Like there are like 1 or 2 points in the village where people gather around full moon nights, put up the pentagram and the candles, and stay there. Just wait out a few nights. No?
Yeah. Which is what you would do, but the thing about the scene that never really made sense to me, and I think I caught it the first time, is why then would you want them to leave? Because if you know this thing is on the prowl, the last thing you would want to do is take 2 innocent people and send them to their deaths. But for whatever reason, they do that. And the bartender, yes, mentions it. She's like, you can't let them leave. It's dangerous. But everybody still wants them out. And it's like their desire to have them out of the bar so that they don't have to discuss the werewolf with them or bring any more attention to it is more important than their lives. But I guess I can also understand that.
Yeah.
Kind of in a way.
It's weird. This is, well, it does not make a whole lot of sense. And you can clearly see before they kick them out that there is a discussion going on between this, because the bartender is like, we can't let them leave. We can't let them leave. And the other person says, well, that would basically be murder. So there is kind of a disagreement among the people. No? And even the people, specifically the guy with the dart that is now kicking them out, is also asking himself about this, because he's conflicted. He's conflicted with what they're doing now. However, eventually, David and Jack get their stuff, leave the bar, and then start walking. And at this point, so far, nothing really bad is happening. Right. But this is also something that is kind of a little bit dumb, because they turn off the road for no apparent reason. They just turn off the road, and it is not that dark that you can't see the road anymore. And even though David and Jack are not superstitious, you would pretty much stay on the road if you want to get somewhere, not just walk into the moors in the middle of the fucking night. What? Yeah,
I would. I mean, it doesn't matter what you believe in, or if you think that this legend is real, or if you think the people in the town are strange. If everybody is huddled into a bar with a pentagram lit, with candles, and they're telling you to get out, but please stay on the road, I would do that. And that's the first thing that these guys don't do. They just walk right onto the fucking moors. Like, aimlessly onto the moors. They're not going anywhere. They're just walking.
And if you didn't believe this, people, you would stay on the fucking road, because walking into the moor in the middle of the night, you could get lost. You don't know about wild animals, or whatever. And if you disturb wild animals in multiple situations, they can become hostile. I don't know if they have like young, or if they're nocturnal animals that hunt during the night and stuff like that. So I would stay on the fucking road. However, just like you said, it's the first thing they do. They leave the road and walk straight into the moors. And at this part, they're walking onto the moors. Then it cuts back to the bar, because now the villagers are having a serious discussion. Because the bartender did not let it go, and now they're really getting into really hard to the discussion. Like, guys, we have to go get the boys back, because the bartenders go out there and get the boys back. You can't let them leave, because this is literally like murdering. Then you can see on the faces that the other guys are like, of course, they're like, okay, yeah, we fucked this up. We have to get them back. But you can see it on their faces that they're like, you can see on their faces that they're really
This was a dumb idea. This was a dumb idea.
This was a dumb idea. We fucked up by sending those 2 innocent guys out there. We really fucked that one up. However, then David and Jack, at this point, already hear the werewolf. They hear it screaming. But then they're still like, okay, they don't know what it is. They just notice that it's some animal. So then they turn around and want... they're wandering around because they don't know where they are, until they notice that it's circling them, because David says that. It's like, oh, it's circling us. So then they really don't know what to do now.
This thing has a great growl, too.
Yes.
It sounds creepy as fuck. I would not...
This is what makes the creature design great. This doesn't sound like a wolf, and it doesn't sound like a human. It sounds like a monster. It sounds absolutely unnatural. But obviously, everybody would assume it is some type of animal. However, they're noticing already that this thing is circling them, but they have also noticed that they're lost. and they don't know where they are. Then they stop, and they have a discussion because then they can clearly see the werewolf. They see it now. But apparently it, at this point, is not following them. I guess it probably found some prey or whatever and was eating it because they see the werewolf. And they're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Because they see this big creature, don't know what it is. And then they decide, okay, let's get back to the road. Let's just turn around and run. So then they turn around and start running. Dumbest decision, but okay. Because at this point, running away is
big
not
mistake.
do
If you have a predator, the last thing you want to do is run from it.
Of course, however, then they start running, and then they can hear the werewolf now screaming, and it's constantly getting louder and louder. No. Then at this point, Jack trips, or was it? No, it's David that trips and falls onto the floor.
Yeah.
And then Jack is like, oh God, you scared the shit out of me. And then the werewolf just comes and attacks him. Throws him onto the floor. Now the werewolf is now ripping, biting, tearing at Jack or whatever. And David just gets up now and starts running. Panic mode.
Yeah, of course. Panic, yeah.
Panic. Then he realizes, oh shit, Jack. Now he just notices that his friend is back there getting killed. And, and his reaction to this is now not a flight anymore, it's not a defense, so he goes back because he apparently wants to save his friend. He's not thinking clear at this moment.
I mean, Mike, I'm not going to lie. If you and me were in Yorkshire, England, on the moors, and you were suddenly attacked by a gigantic werewolf, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to run the other direction.
I mean,
I'm going to run the other direction. I might also do what this guy does where I'm like, oh, shit. You know what? My best friend's being attacked. I should probably go do something and run back. But my first initial reaction is going to be to run like hell.
I mean, Matt. I mean, the thing is, anybody in this situation. Anybody in this situation would run. Anyone.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because you have like this big creature, you don't know what it is. At this point in the night, you could probably also very assume it's a bear or whatever, and everybody would run.
In Yorkshire, England, a bear? No.
I mean, you're not going to assume it's a werewolf. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's more likely that you're going to meet a fucking bear in Yorkshire, England, than a werewolf. I mean, let's be real about it.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Whatever. But David, at one point, realized, oh, my friend is back there, and he goes back there to save him. What is, I would say, pretty brave to do, considering the fact he has no idea what he's dealing with now. And he goes back and sees Jack is dead. You can see like half of him is gone. You can see blood everywhere.
Yeah.
His face is up there. His half of his breast is gone, eaten, or something.
Yeah.
Then the werewolf comes and attacks him from behind. Bites him in the shoulder, and then he gets knocked down on the floor. And the werewolf scratches on him, gets him clear of the face and of the breast with his claws. And then you just hear the villagers coming up and shooting the werewolf. And then the werewolf falls over. And the last thing you see is David look right to the side. And you can see now the werewolf has just reverted back to human form. Right. And there's a guy there that is, basically breathing anymore. And he's pretty much dead.
Type of thing that is a werewolf trope where if you shoot the werewolf with a silver bullet, which I'm assuming it's silver bullets, right? That they revert back to human form when they die, which makes it really easy for the villagers to make this look like it's a homicidal maniac that attacked them, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is what I would do. If I wanted to keep this a secret and I didn't want to draw attention to it, I'd be like, thank God we caught that homicidal maniac that escaped. We saved this guy's life. That's exactly what I would tell the police. That's exactly what they do. I'm happy they stuck with the lore here.
Yeah. Well, not really, because this is something they're going to get asked in this movie. The villagers are not using silver bullets.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
The American Werewolf is one of the only classic werewolf movies that ignores the silver bullet trope. Werewolves can be killed by any weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, because that will be mentioned later. I think we'll get into that when we're there. However, at this point, David passes out. And then you see a dream sequence, the first dream sequence of David running through the woods. Now, pretty much. And then that's it. And then it cuts back to the hospital. You know, like the hospital there. The doctor is already there, and the nurses. No, the nurses are having kind of a discussion because the one nurse is a little bit horny. and it's shaken out.
Both these nurses are hornballs, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
Like they're both hornballs. They're both hornballs. One of them couldn't even keep from like looking underneath the sheets to look at the guy's cock. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And even worse, she admitted it to her supervisor. You know, she's like, "He's a Jew," and the other nurse is like, "How do you know that?" She's like, "I had a peek." Of course, you don't know this, but almost all Americans are circumcised. It's just normal practice nowadays, and it was then too. So she has to explain that to her. She's like, "No, all Yanks get circumcised. That's the thing."
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. When you're explaining that. I mean, obviously, how should I say it? Both are hornballs, but the one nurse is kind of reluctant about it. You can see that she clearly thinks he's attractive, but she's trying to stay professional at this point. The other one doesn't give a shit. Then the doctor walks in, seeing all of this, and is like, don't you fulfill some kind of purpose here? Whatever. The doctor being a total dick, but I mean, to be honest, you're on the doctor's side at this point because you should be doing your job, not looking at patients' cocks. I mean, yeah. However,
although that does beg the question, Mike, how often does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, there's probably a bunch of horny nurses walking around trying to get a look under the sheets.
Maybe, but I'm going to be honest. I would see that more happening the other way around.
Yeah.
But in both situations,
but that's one of those things. Like, the common misconception with men is that they believe that, women are not as sexually driven as they are, but that is just not the case.
That's it.
It is not the case. Not at all.
Yeah, but different situation. No, however. No? You see the doctor looking at David, but his eyes are just staring. He's in some kind of a coma to sleep or whatever. No? Then it reverts back to another dream sequence. That's kind of basically just the same thing. Him running through the woods again until he snaps out of it. He's awake for the first time. And now that he's awake and is talking, the doctor kind of wants to figure out what's going on with him, what happened or whatever, trying to explain to him what happened. And then you have like this one guy from the American
American Embassy.
The American Embassy is up there, and this guy from the American Embassy is a fucking dick because David is just woken up now, and the doctor's going to tell him later that he was basically unconscious for 3 weeks. And David is just like, where's Jack? Then the doctor basically tells him, okay, I think you should prepare yourself for this. Your friend Jack is dead. He's gone. And of course, right after that, David starts to lose it, starts to get aggressive, flipping out, or whatever. He's in some kind of a shock. I mean, for one, he's kind of like he just found that out. His memories are probably fractured, and it's causing a super mind fuck within David. Nah? And you have like this one American guy like pestering him with, well, I've told the Scotland Yard they want to have questions with you, blah, blah, nah.
Yes.
The doctor's just like, leave. And he's like, well, these ungrateful young kids, they're always ungrateful for anything to do.
This is your typical American bedside manner of a politician, basically, because those guys that are at the embassy that have to deal with things like this that happen in foreign countries, this shit happens all the time. And they are constantly dealing with situations like this where Americans have gotten themselves in trouble in Europe in some way. And for them, it's just always an annoyance. It is like, it doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter if someone's been killed. It doesn't matter if something tragic has happened. For him, it's just another reason why now he has to leave his office because some stupid American kid came to England and acted like an asshole. So for him, this is just another day. By the way, Mike, this is the guy that I mentioned earlier. Do you recognize the actor who plays the guy from from the consulate?
No.
Okay. So this guy, the actor is Frank Oz. Do you know who Frank Oz is?
No, not really.
So he is the voice of Yoda and Miss Piggy.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he's he's Jim Henson's best friend. This is the guy that started Jim Henson's Creature Shop with him. And I didn't look it up, but I imagine it was something like, "Hey, are you going to be in England during this time? Because I'm doing creature effects for this werewolf film, and they need someone to come in and play the guy from the consulate. Do you want to do it?" This is one of the first times, and I think maybe the only time that Frank Oz has ever appeared on film, not doing the voice of Yoda, Miss Piggy. So this is actually the voice of Yoda. This guy. Yeah, which is cool. And you when you go back and watch the scene, if you listen to his voice, you recognize it immediately. Like, oh shit, that's Yoda.
Okay, I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Frank Oz. Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah. However, there's a scene where David calms down a little bit. The doctor manages to calm down, basically go through with him everything that's happened. And then it cuts back to another dream sequence where David is now running through the woods half naked, totally fucking bare naked. Until he runs through the woods until he sees a few deer. And he sees a deer and then he jumps the deer, bites his head off, and then just starts biting into it.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear this is somehow the werewolf curse now taking a hold of him and somehow fucking with his mind. And then it jumps back, and then he wakes up now. Now the Scotland Yard is there asking him questions, telling him everything that happens or whatever. And the doctor is also there. And there's like, yeah, well, the maniac that attacked you and your friend was killed. And blah, blah, blah. And then Dave is like, no, that wasn't a fucking human. And they say that was a fucking animal that attacked us. And he keeps on going on about this for himself. It was an animal. I know exactly what I saw. It was an animal that attacked us. And then the cops said, the doctor's like, no, it can't be because we have eyewitnesses that saw everything and blah, 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 blah. And then the cops just went out, and this is a closed case for us. The guy was, we're really sorry about everything. And then just leaves. And then the doctor sits there reassuring to David that it was a human, it was some maniac, and not an animal that attacked him. That he's just under severe shock, and that eventually it'll probably all come back to him. Exactly.
This doctor also, I think even at this point, has kind of an inkling that this is not exactly what it seems, because every time he says something and every time he reassures David that this was a maniac that was killed, this doctor knows that the wounds that David has sustained are wounds from an animal. Like he knows this even at this point, but he's trying to reassure him, hey, it was a psychopath that killed him. And he's probably doing that just to kind of try to settle him down. But this doctor knows that that's not the full story. He knows it.
Yeah, exactly. So the doctor knows that there was something up, just like you explained. Then it cuts back to the nurse, Nurse Alex.
Alex.
Yeah, and she goes off doing basically her other duties, looking after other patients. She's she comes across this one, I think, Indian child that can't speak English and only says no to everything she asks it.
This little shit is annoying. This was me as a kid. She's like, did you enjoy your meal? No. Do you like your coloring books? No. He just says no to everything. I'm like, you little shit.
Not malicious or mean. He thinks it's funny. He's saying it with a smile on his face.
He thinks it's hilarious,
No, because it's like the only thing he can say. I think he just thinks her reaction is funny because the only thing he can say is no. Then later on, she's giving the medicine or whatever. Then this, I assume, is like a few hours later. And the nurse comes in with food, with the medicine she's supposed to give him. And then she's, oh, you're not eating. And then she opens up the plate, and it's like, this is insanely good hospital food. I mean, maybe that was this way in the 90s. or the 80s, not in England. You got to eat something. And he's like, oh, well, but I'm not hungry. And he's like, well, you're putting me in this different situation here because I have to give you these fucking pills.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we'll just leave them there. I'll take them. He says, no, you have to take these pills after you eat. And I can't leave here until you eat these, take these pills, blah, blah, blah.
The dream sequence that happens here before Jack shows up is the one where he's laying in his bed, his hospital bed in the middle of the woods. Like,
yes,
he's seeing this, right?
Yes.
And he's laying on his hospital bed in the middle of the woods. And you're seeing it from his perspective looking at himself, right? And he sees Nurse Alex walk up, and she's trying to wake him up so that she can feed him because she just fed him. So he's having this dream about her feeding him again. And then you get this close-up of his face, and this is the one that you use for our thumbnail, where he like opens his eyes, and his face is basically pale white. His hair's black. He's got teeth and yellow eyes, right? Not necessarily a werewolf looking, but an odd creature. Anyway, so this is kind of his perspective into be like, I'm changing into something.
Yeah.
So he knows it subconsciously that he's turning into something, but he doesn't know what it is. It's a cool dream sequence, though.
It is absolutely, yeah. However, then he wakes up, and when he's awake, Jack appears to him, the ghost of Jack. And David is like super freaked out about, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? And Jack is like, oh, I'm glad to see you too. And then David's like, I mean, be honest, come on. I mean, it's kind of fucking freaking me out to see you rising from your grave and now talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jack basically just goes through a few things that have been happening the last 3 weeks. That he saw his own burial. That David's parents were there. A girl he used to like were there and everything. This is also specifically showing that quite a time has passed. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
After exactly. And then after that, Jack basically gets into what actually happened. And he's like, well, David, what attacked us was not a wolf or a bear. It was a werewolf. Yeah. And he goes in like, we were attacked by a werewolf on the full moon. No? And he says, and you're going to become a werewolf and you should kill yourself. It's like, wow, nice message from your own dead friend. But,
what a fucking mind fuck.
What? Yeah, this is a mind fuck.
If you came back and I was still laying in a hospital bed and you were like, yeah, by the way, I'm dead. I watched my own burial. We were attacked by a werewolf on a full moon. And by the way, you're going to turn into one. So you should just blow your brains out. One of the biggest mind fucks you could possibly get when you're recovering from something.
No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But Matt, I think
this is real either.
I think, I mean, but if it was us, I guarantee you would probably not take this seriously because you would probably instantly, if it was us, I think your first reaction is, okay, he's fucking with me again.
Yeah.
because Mike, you know,
take off the costume. This is bullshit.
Yeah, this is, I mean, to be honest, if I knew you were okay, no? You know me. This is exactly what I would do just to fuck with somebody.
Okay, so never get into an accident with Mike. Fuck. Okay. I would too. The thing is, I'm not sure either of us would buy it because we'd seen this film, you know?
Yeah, of course. However, David doesn't buy it either because he's like, what? He has a typical normal reaction of like, you fucking nuts. I'm a werewolf? You fucking stupid. I mean, of course. However, but then Jack really keeps on pressuring David, kill yourself. You have to kill yourself, or you are gonna kill other people. Then David eventually just loses his, calls the nurse, and starts screaming bloody murder. Then Alex comes running into the room and is like, hey, what's wrong? And she manages to calm him down. I guess eventually then he goes back to sleep. This starting another dream sequence. This is, I would say, one of the most brutal dream sequences. David is at home with his family, his parents, and his younger siblings until somebody knocks at the door. His dad goes to the door, opens up the door, and the door is kicked in by a bunch of soldiers with werewolf faces.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention. I'm I'm not going to mention that they're dressed up like evil German soldiers from a specific date. So the werewolf soldiers basically just shoot everybody, killing with machine guns, killing everybody. And then the scene basically ends with one of the werewolves cutting David's throat. Then he wakes up. No? Now this is like, I think a few days, not a few days, quite some time has passed now. And so far the doctor is checking him out to see if everything's okay with him. And the doctor said like, yeah, okay, just want to make that you're fine with everything and that you won't hurt yourself or other people. Well, I mean, as long as you're still under our responsibility.
Yeah.
Kind of like the doctor being a smartass at this point. No. However, no. Then at this, I think around the same time, the nurse Alex just got off of work. No.
Yeah.
And David and Alex start to hang out. No. Spend a nice day together. This at the end ends with them both going to Alex's apartment. No. I mean, it's pretty obviously going to happen at this point. I mean, no?
Yeah.
You know,
She's been hot for him this whole time.
Yeah,
She's been a little bit more professional than the other one was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's they both have the hots for him, no, but I think she's the one that gets lucky at this point.
Yeah.
However, David and Alex hook up, spend a nice night together. No, so far everything's great at this time. No.
Yeah.
But at this point, the doctor already got in his car and wanted to travel up to the old village that David got attacked because it was just a situation that apparently just wouldn't leave his head. Because the entire
thing. Well, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I think any doctor worth his salt that wasn't too busy with his own like patients and life and everything else probably would have been like, you know, every cut and every scrape that this guy has on him conclusively is animal. Like it's an animal attack, and something does not add up. So I got to go check this out. And that's what he does.
Nothing add up. Just like you said, Matt. No, that would also raise his suspicion was Scotland Yard, 2 police officers,
right,
were in his office and they were having a discussion on basically the entire thing. No, and then the doctor also noticed that the cops are being very vague about it, and that they're very eager to just put everything that happens by side, regarding that the evidence clearly shows that it's not a human. It has to be something else or something or whatever. No,
yeah,
there has to be something going on. And he says it's just crazy how the villagers put everything fast aside and the cops are on their side somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, the doctor goes to the old village, basically wanting to figure out what happened. No. He comes into the bar, the slaughtered lamb, the same bartender, the bald guy, and then the other guy that missed his dart are in the bar. He orders, I don't know, what's it called? Guinness, exactly, Guinness. He orders a Guinness and starts talking to the people, whatever, about different things. Huh? Starts asking too much questions, what annoys the people again, and then they basically kick him out. No? But you can always see on these faces, the one guy, the dart, he just instantly lost his shit. And I have to go and check on the dogs. And the guy's like, the dogs are fine. So no, I gotta leave. So you can see clearly in this guy's face that he feels really fucking bad. That he feels like super responsible for what happened to the kids. And it's like to the point where you can see in his face he's full of guilt. Because it's basically his fault. No?
Yeah.
And however, eventually the doctor gets kicked out, and then the dart guy is waiting in the rain up behind him, and then the doctor walks up to him. And then the dart guy starts telling him a few things. And he's like, it was a mistake, that we let the boy leave. Now, this is the thing. Yeah. This is specifically what got me into that. These people fully know that it was a werewolf. Well, obviously, we know that. But they specifically also knew who the werewolf was. Because he specifically states, we should have not let the boy leave. No, because
Mhm.
uh, they. This is what hit me because what would these people have done? No, they would have. I don't know. They wouldn't have. They didn't want to kill him. No, but because they obviously know that he is now a werewolf, they wouldn't have let him leave the village. So
Right.
he would not be able to carry out this curse somewhere else. What leads me
Right.
to believe that this village, no, believes that this werewolf curse specifically is a curse of their town. And they're just trying to keep this curse within
Yep.
their town and stop it from spreading, basically. No?
Right.
And in the middle,
Right. So
in
that
the
they
middle of
all
when,
would have had to have known who it was, right?
yeah, yeah. So I guess they probably knew who the werewolf was, and they were probably all friends with him as well.
Yeah.
No? And this is just how basically they did. They knew that there's nothing in miles that could happen. People barely come over here, no? So they just hit in these two places with these things, no? With the pentagram and the candles, all that shit, so none of them can be hurt through full moon nights. And outside of that,
Yep.
I probably guess they all knew who the werewolf was, and he was pretty much just one of them. But that's what I personally think. What this situation leads to believe, because the dark guy starts telling the doctors too much, and he's like, "Yeah, we should have kept him here. We should have let him leave because because tomorrow night he's gonna change. He's gonna kill
Yeah.
people." And
They
blah,
already
blah,
know.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
No. And then
Yep.
yeah. What that? What?
Which begs the
Matt?
question, Mike. Would this? Sorry. Would this normally happen? Do you think? Let's say this. Let's say this was a village here, right? Let's say
Yeah.
this was a village in Germany. Do you think that people would have let this guy live knowing that he was a werewolf and just held up the entire community in a bar every full moon so that this guy couldn't kill anybody within their village and just let him hunt livestock? Or do you think they would kill him? Because if this were America, they would have fucking killed the guy. They would have killed him dead, dude.
Probably.
It's just odd. Like you think this community would want they would want this curse to be gone. And if you
Yeah.
can kill this werewolf as a human being before he's able to attack again, because you know who it is, then effectively you've stopped the curse,
Yeah.
right?
But the thing is, Europe is a very. I mean, all European countries are very small compared to the States. No.
Right.
And if they would basically kill the werewolf, they would somehow have to figure out how to cover up a murder.
Yeah.
No, because these people aren't stupid. They would know the werewolf turns back into his human form. No? And
Right.
they clearly knew how to kill the werewolf. They knew for some reason they didn't kill him. They didn't, because I would guess the werewolf was their friend. So that's
Yeah.
why. So they didn't actually go out and hunt the werewolf until they had to.
Okay.
Because they sent out these two boys, and they knew they were going to get killed, and they did it to prevent these young boys from being killed. And that also leads me to believe why they were hesitant. You could talk about this situation for hours. No, you could theorize about it.
Yeah.
No? Because I think everybody would probably have a different take on it. However, no, in the middle of the discussion between the doctor and Dart Guy, the other villager comes up and says, "That's enough. That's enough." No?
Yeah.
And then Dart Guy just runs away. And then the doctor gets back in his car and drives.
Yeah.
Then he shows up pretty much the next day, sometime around noon or whatever. Alex is getting ready to go to work, and she leaves the apartment together with David. Oh, no. Middle of the night, I forgot something.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, David wakes up, no? And is visited again by Jack, no? And Jack is now more decayed than he was before. They have a short discussion about pretty much, and Jack basically also I think he explained this the first time when Jack visited David, but I'm going to say it now because I forgot it in the first time. Jack explains to David, because he is a part of the werewolf curse now, and that he has to walk Earth as the living dead until the curse is lifted. That is specifically why he mentions that David should kill himself, because the curse won't be lifted until the last werewolf in that bloodline is severed. That would lift the werewolf curse.
Right.
No? And up until then, he has to walk Earth for eternity in limbo as a ghost.
Right.
So then,
as does anybody else, as we'll find out later.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Just like everybody who gets killed by a werewolf. Exactly, because it's unnatural death, and their bodies, their souls can't pass off into the other life.
Right.
However, then basically this short scene is basically again Jack just reminding David again that he's going to turn into a werewolf.
And kill yourself.
Yeah. Tomorrow is a full moon. You're going to turn. Just kill yourself. And after that, Alex wakes up Alex, and she comes into the front room, calms David down, and then they go back to bed. And David talks like, I just saw Jack again. No?
Yeah.
And of course, they have a discussion. Alex is actually pretty empathetic towards it, and her reaction is obviously like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going through your head. Your best friend just died. You're seeing shit. No, normal. No, normal situation.
I would have thought he was insane. They go back personally.
Then begins the next. What?
I would have thought he was insane. Honestly, like she's taking this way too easy. This guy, I would have said, you have possibly an issue mentally. You're probably crazy. Maybe we should take you to a psychiatric office or something to get evaluated because you're talking crazy talk. But she's taking it really easy. She's like, you're seeing your dead friend.
He's hallucinating, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, in the middle of the night, it could have easily also been sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yes. Yes.
I mean, I would not really know what to do in this situation, but considering what the person's been through, he's been through an extreme trauma.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's said to experience, but it could have easily been just an hallucination. No, or sleepwalking, or there are multiple logical explanations for him seeing his dead friend, other than him just being crazy. No.
Yeah.
But clearly, at this point,
I would say
maybe she gets. Yeah. But clearly, you would say to this guy, you clearly need some help. You need some professional that can kind of help you through this. No?
Yeah.
However, but then the next morning, Alex is getting ready to go to work, and she's letting David stay at her apartment for the meantime. No? David instantly locks himself out. And then two little girls come walking their dog. No? The dog just barks at him like he's like the worst person ever. No? This obviously hinting towards that animals know that something's wrong with him. He's checking around the apartment, how he could get in. No? Then he comes across a cat again that just hisses at him like, get the fuck out of here. No? Next hint that next foreshadowing as what's going to happen. He eventually manages to open up one of the windows, gets in, and then spends the rest of the day in her apartment. Then you have kind of a montage, him just trying to kill time, opening up the fridge multiple times, even though I'm not even hungry, only shits on the TV, trying to read some books or whatever. No?
Yeah.
Then it shifts back into nighttime where you have like the nurse again with the child that only tells her no.
Shit. Yeah.
I'm not sure at this point. I think the doctor calls the nurse or calls the hospital and asks Alex if she knows where David is. No? And he's like, yeah, he's at my apartment. He's waiting for me at my apartment. No? He's like, okay, you have to get him back to the hospital. She's like, why? He says, I just think there's something up with him. No? And I think later on in the day, the doctor also explains that to her before she's finished with work. No? However, during in the night, David is reading a book in Alex's apartment. It's full moon night, and this is where the transformation begins. No? Because just like I say, this is one of the most brilliant werewolf transformations ever done. He instantly jumps up and has a multiple headache, Still unclear to me why his first initial reaction is to just take off all of his clothes, but okay.
I think he was hot. I think he was hot because
Yeah.
the guy is profusely sweating. Like you can see the sweat beads on his head. He looks extremely flushed. His skin is itching because he's
Yeah.
always itching his skin. So he takes off all of his clothes because that makes him feel better. And then, bam, it starts happening, dude. This transformation, if you're not interested in seeing the rest of the movie, or if you just want to see, you can find it on YouTube. There are thousands of videos of this transformation.
Yeah.
It's done very close up. There is
This-
no. There are several cuts away because you have to cut away to make this work, but they're very tasteful cuts. Like there's a guy online who goes through this transformation, and he explains what every cut is and why they had to make the cut and all this stuff to make it work. Man, this transformation sequence probably took over a week to get filmed because it is nitty gritty, dude. Nitty gritty. You see skin stretching. You see the hand extend with the skin still attached.
Yeah.
You see the fur coming out piece by piece. It is just a very close up, very gory, very excruciating scene. It's
the next thing
brilliant.
you think is the same thing happening to his feet.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
this is like full. Werewolf is one of the only werewolf transformations where occasions agree where this goes into body horror. You know, what this werewolf transformation.
Yes, absolutely.
What makes it so horrific? Nah? You see the same
Yeah.
thing happen to his feet where his just instantly grows. Nah? Then it comes back to his back. You can literally see the bones shifting
Yes.
in his transformation, going up and down, and his spine getting bigger. It's super fucking painful. And what's funny about it is the music that's playing in the background. This happy music during all of this.
Yes. But that's a testament to how brilliant this scene is. Like it makes you feel pain. Like you can actually feel physical pain watching this because the sound effects that they're using, if you notice, are actually louder than the music. So you get the music in the background, which is generally a pretty happy song. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But the sounds of the bones cracking, the sounds of the bones shifting, and the flesh being pulled is so loud over the music that it's impossible to enjoy the happy tune that's going on. Like it's brilliantly filmed. And I don't think, Mike, that it's been a long time since I've seen the Werewolf series, Werewolf, but I think from what I remember, and it has been a really long time, this transformation sequence is slower and more painful than anything that happens in that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I mean,
From what I remember from the show, the transformation sequence are very similar, but they're a lot more quick. So I seem to remember in the show when the snout is growing out of the face of the werewolf, it grows out and then it comes out of the mouth, and then the person grabs the skin and pulls it out from over their head,
No,
and then there's a werewolf underneath it, right?
that's different because in the werewolf series there are multiple different werewolves. No?
Yeah.
And the transformation scene you're talking about specifically is Scorzini, the main antagonist of the series.
Yeah.
But there's also his transformation scene is different for other reasons. Is that he's a very old werewolf that has learned to control the werewolf and can turn at will.
Yeah. Right.
Different thing, but it's true that actually the werewolf TV series is made for TV, so the transformations usually are shorter, and you don't really see the entire transformation in every episode. No,
Right.
you see only partially but the way it's done in the werewolf show in a way that it makes you that it feels like a full werewolf transformation every time it happens. One of my favorite transformation scenes is in the diner, where they're sticking his head into what's it called, friteuse?
Like a fryer, like a fryer.
And right when they're holding his head, he transforms into a werewolf. Now, that is brilliant scene, by the way.
Yeah.
But however,
When we do the series, we'll go through it and highlight every transformation because I think I don't know, man. The fact that more people have not seen that show blows my mind. And it was made for TV, and it was extremely gory for TV, from what I remember as
for
well.
TV, I mean, Matt. The crazy thing is, I mean, you didn't even know the show until I told you about it.
Did as a kid, but I had no idea what the name of it was. I remember
Yep.
watching it with my dad. I specifically remember one scene, and it was a scene that gave me nightmares because this is around the same time that Silver Bullet came out, right?
Yeah.
Um, so Silver Bullet was out. That was the first werewolf movie I saw, and it was terrifying. And then at that same time, the series came out, and I remember my dad was watching it downstairs, and the scene that I saw was a scene with a woman who had a necklace on, and the necklace was in the middle of her chest. I can't remember exactly what the necklace was, but
Hmm.
the werewolf transformed in front of her, and it was a sequence where it tore the flesh, the human flesh, off of itself while it was transforming, and then was going to attack her, and then noticed her necklace and stopped, and then went away. And that was the transformation sequence I saw. And later, when you mentioned the series, I went back and saw parts of it, and I realized that that was from that series. So that's how I caught on to it. But I had actually seen it when I was a younger kid. Not the whole
Yeah, but you
thing.
haven't
But
seen it. You haven't seen it as an adult, so okay.
no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, but then you still remember it because I've seen the
I
series.
still remember it. It was that good. It was that
Yeah.
good. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. And I think the difference, Mike, and I think a lot of people would agree with this if you're an avid horror fan, the scenes that stick with you from these kinds of movies and these kinds of series or film or whatever are the ones that are profound. That like the gorier, the more visceral stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
Whereas if it looks cheesy, Mike, it doesn't stick with you. There's hundreds of werewolf movies where there's transformations and the transformations are just bad.
I mean, I've watched it multiple times again as an adult, and I can't remember one transformation scene in that series that is cheesy. What a lot of criticism people
There's
bring
not.
toward the criticism a lot of people bring towards the werewolf TV series is that it has the same formula as the Incredible Hulk did. No,
Hmm.
oh, it had with the episodic. It was an episodic format, of course.
Yeah.
No, and you have like the main protagonist coming into some kind of a situation involving some kind of drama or thing happening in some sort of society. He turns into a werewolf and kills somebody, basically. No, kind of like the kind of
Yeah.
same formula the Incredible Hulk had, the TV series. No, this show also
Yeah.
has.
Okay.
But I mean, that's one big criticism a lot of people throw towards it. No, but I mean,
I don't really see that. I can see that as maybe criticism, uh, just because the Incredible Hulk was going on at the same time. But honestly, that's really the only way you could do it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
how else
I'm
would
out.
you have done that in episodic format? You know?
Yeah, of course, exactly. But the Werewolf TV series also is stronger. It stays very head on, no, when it comes to werewolf lore,
Yeah.
uh, compared to American Werewolf. I mean, American Werewolf has only removed one thing from werewolf lore, and that's the silver bullet thing. No, the Werewolf TV series does it differently. It removes the werewolf transformation from the full moon.
Okay.
It's also explained in the show how it happens. I mean, werewolves, when they become older and they're longer werewolves, become more powerful. They can learn to control the transformation. But beyond that, there is a specific cycle whenever the transformation happens, and that cycle is not specifically in the show tied to the full moon.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, but I think
Interesting.
we can leave that up to the TV series when we do it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, because we're going to do that eventually anyway. Yeah.
yeah. However, okay, now we're in the middle of the transformation. David flips over on his back for a short while. then flips over again, where he's standing on all fours, nah? And this is pretty much where you see his full werewolf face form. You see like the bones, the snout coming out, ripping through his skin and everything, his ears growing up.
Yeah.
Then you just basically see him on the camera sliding by his entire body. He's now became fully transformed into a werewolf. It blends out, and you just hear the werewolf scream, the same you had from the moors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then you have like this is like what happens very rarely in horror movies. You're going to have multiple kill scenes happening one after another. No?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. All great scenes, by the way. No? The first begins with a couple arriving at a house where they want to go to a party, whatever. Then the guy mentions, like, oh, yeah, maybe we should walk around. Dumb decision. They should have just went into the fucking house. But
right.
They walk around through the garden wanting to surprise their friends, no? And when that happens, they both get attacked by the werewolf. No?
Yeah.
Both instantly slaughtered. However, the couple upstairs that were waiting for them, the woman notices that something's off. She says, hey, something's going on down there. Maybe you should go look. And then her husband is like, nah, they're just a little bit late. They'll be coming. No? Eventually, of course, she freaked out because she clearly saw something happening down there. No? The guy goes out. In the first moment, you think, okay, the werewolf is going to get him too. No? But doesn't happen. No?
Yeah.
He just walks out through the woods or the kind of wood trees or whatever, looking for his friends because his wife told him that something was out there. And then him calling the other two people, but them not responding. And the last thing you see is him looking down on the floor and then a severed bloody hand or bloody arm laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it cuts back to a different scene into a subway. Mm-hmm. Or is this... No, I think it cuts back to a bridge and a few homeless people sitting in front of a fire. This is the scene, no?
Yep.
Until they're talking about stuff until the dog notices something. No? This is probably something Chrissy probably was kind of scared about, but the one homeless guy lets his dogs free, and then the dog just runs. So the dog is safe for this one.
The dog gets away. No fear. Yes.
However, then they hear the scream of the werewolf through these homeless people, and they're like, "What the fuck was that?" No? And then you see them all fucking shocked, looking at the same point because they can see the werewolf coming towards them. Like, what the fuck is that? No? Okay. You just see the face of the werewolf again coming towards them. Only really short. You only see like his eyes and a part of the werewolf's face. Then it cuts back to a subway station. This, I would say, this next kill is like the one. I mean, the best. I mean, one thing that aggravates me about this movie, always has, is that there is not one scene where you fully see the werewolf.
Yeah, but so I can understand where that's maybe a little bit frustrating, but for me, I really like that kind of thing. I like it because it's kind of like what they did with Alien, right? I know we keep going back to Alien, but not seeing the full creature is somehow more terrifying than seeing the full creature.
Yeah, I know.
I appreciate how it's done here.
I know. The thing is, this is only a very, very, very small complaint I have towards the movie.
Yeah.
But that's only but it's so fucking small. I would even call it nitpicking just mentioning it at this point. But it's just my opinion. No? However, you're in the subway where this one guy just gets off the subway, then out of a cardio machine gets something out to eat. No? And then he hears something out in the distance. And he's like, is anybody there? Then he hears the werewolf growling again. He's like, hey, dude, this is absolutely not funny. Just stop this shit. No?
Yeah.
And then he just starts eating and then starts walking up the hallway. No? So he's like, fuck this city. But it's totally freaked out by what's happening. No?
Yeah.
Walks the hallway, goes up the stairs or whatever, and then he stops again. No? What's great about this scene is, the most part, you see it through the perspective of the werewolf, from the werewolf's view.
Yep, you get a werewolf POV. Yep.
Yeah. The werewolf coming around the corner, and the guy staring at it. Nah, totally fucking freaked out. Turns around and runs. Nah,
Yeah.
runs through the hallway, through the subway station. Nah, until he eventually right on the automatic stairs. Nah, falls over, then turns around. And then you can see from a bird's eye view, the werewolf slowly crawling up towards him. This is a great scene where you can see where the werewolf's slowly walking up towards him. Then it cuts back to the view of the werewolf. The werewolf just coming up at him, and you see this guy totally fucking scared off his ass. No?
Yeah.
And then it you see like the werewolf scream one more time, showing the night view with a full moon. No?
Yeah.
Exactly. No.
So a lot of the kills happen off screen, but I'm fine with that. I mean, it's obvious that a lot of their budget went into the transformation, and I would honestly rather have that transformation and kills off screen than kills on screen and no transformation. So I don't care. I mean, the kills are effective. Like, you're not going to get any shock value off the kills, but they're effective. They did it well. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, of course, but this is also a movie that was not meant specifically to shock. It was more
right.
I mean, you can clearly see the way this movie made the entire shock value was set on the werewolf transformation. How horrific, it was made.
Yeah.
Okay. However, shortly after that, the scene it cuts to the next morning, where it's in a zoo. You see like multiple animals in their cages or whatever, and then David wakes up and he's surrounded by wolves because the werewolf went into a zoo, just smashed the werewolf pen, and just sat down and went to sleep. So he wakes up in the wolf pen.
I love this because I think this is what would happen.
Yeah. And has no fucking idea what's going on. I was like, what the fuck? No. However, he manages to get out of the werewolf pen, but is bare naked. No. Is trying to maneuver his way through the bushes so nobody sees him because he's super naked. No.
Yeah.
This is also a great scene, by the way. No.
Yeah.
Then he has like this one boy with balloons. No.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey boy, come here. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I can give you a pound or whatever if you give me your balloons." And I was like, what the fuck? Short discussion is, who are you? He's like, I'm the balloon thief. It's just telling him some shit. Hilarious scene, by the way. Eventually, David comes out of the bush, grabs the balloons, and runs. No?
Yeah.
Then you instantly see this kid going up to his mom. Mom. And the kid is like, what? A naked American guy just stole my balloons.
Yeah, that's what I mean about horror comedy. Like this thing has some good scenes that make you laugh in between, and this is one of them. I think I can't remember exactly what happened next, but the next time we see him, he's wearing something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, because you see him running, with holding the balloons, and then there's this couple sitting on a bank,
on a bench,
The woman took off her jacket, and put it on the side of the bank, and when he runs by, just grabs her jacket. That's all you see. You just see him running by and grabbing the jacket. Then it cuts later off to the scene where he's standing at a bus station wearing this woman's jacket and only that, and everybody's looking like he's totally weird. And he just responds, "Well, isn't it nice weather today?" He's just trying to totally fucking act it off, like
looking extremely weird because his jacket is way too small for him, and I think it's pink, right?
Yeah, red. It's red.
Red. It's like a red woman's jacket, and there's this big, tall, naked man wearing a red woman's jacket. Red jacket. It's obviously made for a woman at a bus stop, but everybody thinks this is a little bit weird, but nobody really says anything. This guy would have been arrested anywhere else, man.
It's funny, however, then it cuts to Alex getting back home, from her night shift,
Yeah.
And then she gets a call from the doctor, He's like, how do you know where David is? He says,
he was supposed to be here in my flat. I don't know where he is. Whatever. No. And then there's a short discussion between the doctor and the nurse. No, it's okay. If you see him, just call me. You have to bring him to the hospital immediately. No.
Yeah.
Then after a certain time, David arrives at Alex's apartment. No, she's having a cup of tea. It's England.
Yeah. It's England.
And then she's surprised that he's there, and she's asked him if everything's fine or whatever. And he basically tells her, I woke up in the zoo. No? Totally bare naked or whatever. And he's, at this point, not really shocked by it, just somehow thinks it's very amusing what happened to him. No? However, then instantly Alex calls the doctor, tell him here, Alex is here, whatever. And the doctor, oh, how is he? Is he fine? No? And she's like, yeah, he's okay. And David at this is, while she's on the phone making a move towards Alex, obviously, no? And she's she's kind of in between. Actually, she wants to give into it, but she has to have this telephone conversation now. No? And eventually, the telephone call ends with her agreeing to, I'm going to take David to the hospital so we can have him checked out. No? So then Alex convinces David to, we have to go to the hospital. No, doctor, whatever his name is convinced that there might be something wrong with you. Because this was something I think that the doctor told Alex up front, that he believes that this village has some kind of delusion about a werewolf or whatever.
Yeah,
no?
right.
And he says, if an entire community, entire village can believe this to the point where they think it's real, it could also be that David might believe it too. And in that mental state, he might hurt himself or others. That's why you have to bring him to the hospital. Right. What the doctor explains to him.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. They first walking down to the street, looking for a cab, and David's mentioned, "Oh, I feel so great. I feel so alive. Like I'm like a sport."
What does this remind you of? The fact that he's so this is your hint that this was also maybe made by the guy who did The Fly, right? Because this whole transformation thing, the way he feels so different, he feels so alive. He's extremely horny because his testosterone levels have gone up, right? And he feels great. This is the exact same thing that Goldblum's character felt in The Fly. It's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's clearly what happened to him when he's a werewolf. It's the werewolf now in him.
No? Yeah, right.
I mean, of course.
Just like The Fly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. However, they get into the cab, and Alex and David are kind of making out. No? This clearly hinting that, if this would have gone on there, they probably would have became a couple. But, however, no. Then they drive through the car, and the cab mentions, "Oh, guys, have you heard about those murders last night?" And then David realizes something. He says, "Yeah, 6 people were killed by this maniac. They were half eaten or whatever." Yeah. Shortly before that, you could see the doctor buying a newspaper where it's saying 6 murder victims, half eaten or whatever. Then David now realizes what happened. That was him. This is where David fully realizes that Jack was right, or he remembers at least, because the entire werewolf transformation, he lost memory of basically what happened. No?
Yeah.
Shortly before that, David even told Alex he only remembers being at her house and then waking up in the zoo. No?
Yeah.
So, and this is the point where David realizes what's going on. Either that he just connects the dots, or he might now remember something. No? However, he realizes now that he killed those people and that he's a werewolf. No? He just gets out of the car and starts running towards it. Alex trying to stop him, trying to be reasonable with him, but David is just super hysterical at this point, and is like, "I'm a werewolf. You got to get away from me. I'm going to kill somebody." And he says, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the police." So he's totally hysterical, going up to the police, wanting to get himself locked up because he knows he's going to turn into a werewolf.
I love this too. This scene is fantastic because it's right there in London Square, and if you know anything about English police officers, they don't have weapons, they don't have guns. Um, at least at this time, they were very nonchalant about their jobs, and they were just didn't want to be bothered. Like if there was something happening on the street, your average English policeman was going to look the other way and ignore that something was going on because they didn't want to have to arrest anybody. Like England was a pretty peaceful place. This guy is doing everything that he can possibly do to get arrested. That if you did it probably in any other country, they would arrest you immediately. He's like, he starts cussing in public in front of kids. He's like, fuck, shit, cunt, arrest me, what are you doing? I want to be arrested. And the cop's like, fuck off. Fuck off. Cop doesn't want to arrest him.
Yeah, this is crazy because he first walks up to the cop like, hey, you know those. The funny thing is, he walks up to the cop and is like, hey, you know those people that were killed last night? I did that. Arrest me. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex says, oh, no, it's fine. We just had a fight or whatever, and blah. So the cop really does not know what to believe at this moment because,
yeah.
However, then what you said. However, arrest me. He wants to get arrested. No. After that scene, shortly, Alex again and again tries to convince David to come back with her to the hospital. To be honest, what would have been the best thing they could have done, no? Yeah. Because they probably would have locked him up in a secured area where for mentally ill people in a specific. I don't know. Gummizelle. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
Like a loony bin, basically.
A loony bin. They probably would have locked him up in a loony bin. And I do think a loony bin would have been able to contain a werewolf. I don't know.
I don't know, man. We see this werewolf do things that are not weakling things. You know what I mean? Like he's pretty powerful as a werewolf. I'm not really sure that would have done any good, and it may have actually done worse. Because if he's locked up in a facility that he can get out of in any way, then he would have been murdering patients right and left. So I'm not really sure that would have been the best option.
However, David crosses the street and gets away from Alex because a car drives by, and Alex loses David at this point. No?
Yeah.
Then at that, Alex just goes to the hospital. No? Lost David or whatever. No? At this point, David is walking through London trying to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. We see eventually David having a call with one of his siblings. No? Because at this point is where David actually wants to kill himself. He has he has a conversation with his siblings. Like you kind of feel like he's having the last talk to his loved ones. Then he hangs up the phone, and you have him have a knife on his wrist. No, but him still not being able to do it. No, then he leaves the the telephone booth, and he sees Jack again on the other side of the street, and waves for him to come towards him. No, so David ones up. No, how much does a ticket cost? Because what David didn't realize is that it's a porn theater. And this is something I never really saw. This I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this was even a thing in Germany. No.
I don't know, man. I came here in like 97, so I never saw anything like this. But this was a big thing in the States.
Yeah, and I would say I know porn theaters were a thing in the States, and I would say from the most European country, England is the one that has the most similarities to American culture. No? I would say from my point of view, so that's why this might would have been a thing in England or not. I don't know. No? But however,
I would assume so. I would assume so. No, I mean, not just that, but England was also very. It's a cultural thing. They're a very prudish culture, and everybody knows that, right? That's the whole reason. That's one of the reasons America became America is because we wanted to get away from the English hoity-toity, tea-drinking, bedwetting bullshit and become kind of more aggressive. That's what America is. But because England was like that on the surface, it had a very dark underbelly because all of that was suppressed so much for such a long time. So England was one of the first countries that would show pornography on TV after 9 o'clock at night. Like that was a British thing. So in the 70s and 80s, TV after 9 o'clock was pornography on almost every channel.
Pretty much
So
Germany
they
too.
actually did that more so. Yeah, they actually did that more so than the Americans did. I remember that as a kid because I had met people from England and they were like, "Oh, dude, it's crazy. You can turn on the TV after 9 o'clock at night and there's pornography on every channel." And I remember when I was a kid being like, "Wow, that's fucking crazy. Really? Holy
Yeah.
shit!" You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very believable that this was a thing.
Yeah. However, then now David goes into the theater. You know, this is a funny scene because you hear moaning all the time in the background. It's kind
The
of
whole
funny.
scene.
However,
Yeah.
yeah, throughout the whole scene, you hear moaning in the background. What makes this scene just insanely hilarious? Now, because okay, David walks up and sits down like in the top row and starts with Jack. Nah, and David's like, "Yeah, Jack, you were right. I have no idea what to do." And Jack's like, "Yeah, well, I really
Told you what to do, buddy.
I told
I
you
told
so."
you what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be the one to say I told you so, but I fucking told you so. No. And then
Yeah.
Jack says, "Here's a few people that maybe you should meet." And this is where the scene where the great scene, by the way, all the people that David killed the previous night as a werewolf now confront him. No?
Yeah.
And it was first the guy he killed in the subway says like, "Hey, you dumbass! Now my wife is a widow now. My children are fatherless. No, because of you, dumb fucker. No.
Yeah.
And then they have like then the funny thing is the couple. No. The engaged couple. No.
Yeah.
They don't seem bothered by this. By the way, they're like super funny. So, "Hi, dude. How you doing? No. Nice."
Yeah. They're
And then you
just
have the
chilling,
three
watching
homeless
pornography together. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the three homeless people turn around. "Oh yeah, you were that fucker that killed us, right?" That's basically
It's
their
funny
reaction.
too. I don't know if you noticed that the homeless people are still drinking, like they're drinking alcohol, just like they were when they were killed. By the way, Mike, this scene is also good for another reason. Something people don't realize. Everybody in the scene is actually there, like it's real people, except for Jack. Jack is fully puppeteered, so it's not actually the character sitting there talking. It's actually a puppet that's like a rotted away human, which is really cool. Like this was Jim Henson's thing, I think. This is probably his contribution to it, but it's a very believable puppet. It's really good. It's very cool. It makes me wish that Jim Henson had gotten into the zombie genre, to be honest.
That would have been amazing. Yeah.
I wish that Jim Henson had gotten into zombie stuff because he could have probably contributed a lot to that whole genre.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, however, to continue, Jack has this. This is something that up until this point, you assumed that the werewolf was killed with silver bullets. No.
Yes.
This is a scene.
I've held that belief for a long time. I just think it wasn't mentioned.
No. Well, it was. It is mentioned specifically now in this scene that comes up, and that is something that you can miss if you don't pay attention. No. Because this is where David is now having a conversation with Jack and all of the people he murdered on how would be the best way to kill himself. No? Because this David comes up and says like, "Hey, wouldn't I need a silver bullet?" No? Jack then turns around and says, "Hey, come on, David. This isn't the movies." No? So this is clearly...
Okay, I missed that part. I missed that. You're right.
That first basically that establishes that werewolves can just be killed by normal physical force. It does not necessarily need a silver bullet. No?
Okay.
Then it's a pretty funny scene because after that, you have like every single one of his murder victims suggesting a different way how he could kill himself.
Yeah.
while you have porn moaning in the background.
Going on in the background.
Yeah. And then I think the subway guy is like, oh, you can take pills. No, pills would absolutely work. You can poison yourself. No, and then the homeless people, not safe enough, because subway because they'll save it or whatever. No, and then the engaged couple, the woman, like, oh, you can take a knife and just shove it through your head or something. And,
they're like the happiest dead couple ever, even when they're talking about suicide. It's great.
Yeah, it's hilarious. However, great scene, by the way. And this goes on for a very, very long time. David sitting in a porn theater discussing with his murder victims how he can kill himself most efficiently. What is?
Yeah.
Totally fucking morbid.
I actually hate that this was not. I actually hate that this idea was not reused in other werewolf movies. The fact that your victims have to walk the earth dead until the curse is broken. This wasn't used anywhere else, but it actually adds a lot of color to the myth.
Only one done that, and it was American Werewolf in Paris. Yeah,
that's part 2 of this movie, though, and this whole like dead walking the earth thing is used to dramatic effect in that film, very humorously. I might add, there's some great scenes there.
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, American Werewolf 2 or American Werewolf in Paris. I love the movie, even though I have to say the werewolf transformation is done CGI. Not good. The werewolves are also not really good. No, in my opinion, no. But still, overall, I do think it's not a bad werewolf movie, and I still think it's kind of enjoyable. But it's American Werewolf in Paris is more a comedy than anything else.
Yes, it is. It's definitely comedy.
It's funny. It's a funny movie. I had fun with it. I've seen it multiple times because it's a werewolf movie. Even though it's not, just like I say, the two main things, transformation and werewolf design, is not good in this movie. Still, it's funny. It's a funny movie. It's more comedy.
It's good. It's worth a watch.
You can have fun.
I think we should actually do that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And the discussion between David and his murder victims ends, of course, when it becomes nighttime and David begins to transform again. No?
Yeah.
Now this is not the initial transformation scene. You only see basically like the werewolf claws coming out of his fingers. What now is done differently than his transformation previously.
Yeah.
I mean, what was most obviously a practical effect. I would say practical because they did. It's not supposed to be another full transformation scene because one is enough, and this is just meant to show that he's turning now. No?
Right. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk to werewolf fans, you could come up with like multiple explanations why his second scene is different, but that would be getting into. I mean, if I would be getting into this shit, Matt, we would probably have to do from every single werewolf movie a different episode just so I can go through the werewolf lore. But
I know, but you have to admit though, this is kind of what makes this genre interesting, because if you have something that's this much fun and you have a lot of people who like it, people are going to talk about it. And I honestly think the most fun part of horror movies is discussing them. That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like you can go into a whole bunch of different explanations of why you think a certain thing is the way that it is, and you'll get multiple different explanations about it. And quite honestly, movies are made on a shoestring budget most of the time if they're horror films, and they just do what works best for them practically for the money that they have. And that's why we get so much inventive, crazy things from horror movies, because they are working with less of a budget, and they do have to be more inventive and more fun with the way that they do things. And it creates a lot of things to talk about. This is why I love it.
Yeah.
I actually like what they did here. We didn't need a full transformation scene.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
you didn't need it.
I think it depends on how you do a movie. I mean, Dog Soldiers is a good example of you don't even have to have a full transformation scene in it, no? To make the movie work, no? I think also more than one full transformation scene is too much. I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion. No?
Yeah, I agree. It's
yeah.
not needed here.
Yeah. However, David turns into a werewolf. No, of course, people start screaming because he's now a werewolf in a porn theater, slaughtering people. No, you have like the woman on. Of course, cops are immediately aware to what's happened now. You have like the lady that was on the ticket booth. No, screaming hysterically. No, the one cop walks in there. No, with a flashlight. Just see a murdered corpse, a half-eaten corpse. Where he's like, "Holy fucking shit!" Huh?
Yeah.
He walks through the theater, seeing all these slaughtered people, until he goes back and hits the flashlight directly at the werewolf. And this is one of the scenes where you see the werewolf, the full werewolf, for like a second or two.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
and
it's glorious.
It's glorious. Great scene, however. No?
Yeah.
Of course, the cop runs the fuck out of there and slams the door. Instantly, of course, the werewolf right out following him and is bashing towards the door. No? Then you have, like, people being idiots just surrounding this thing. No? Like, oh, what's happening? While the other police officer is calling for help from other police officers. And the police officers now are trying to get the people away. They're like, hey, get out of here. Get away. Leave this place. Still, everybody's looking up like, "Oh, what's happening here?" God, I mean,
this Mike, this is one of the
yeah.
This is one of the great examples in horror movies where black people are always the first to stand up and say that white people are actually ridiculous in horror movies and they don't make any sense. Because black people always say, "Hey, dude, if there's something going on, you run. you don't run towards the thing." But you fucking white people, you run directly towards the danger. And this is a great example of that exact same thing in a horror movie right here.
Yeah.
This is the prime example. Because this werewolf is murdering people.
Exactly.
And people have read on the news that 6 people have been murdered. And what do? They run directly for the theater where all the commotion is going on because they want to see what's going on. And they get what's coming to them, too.
Yeah, not all of them, but however,
not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, you see, like the police are trying to calm down the situation, while the others are trying to keep whatever's in there. And only one of them has seen the werewolf, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But you can pretty much tell something is trying to get out of there. Then the same 2 cops from Scotland Yard, get out of the car and walk up towards it. And exactly this moment, the werewolf breaks through the gate, runs up to the one cop and just instantly grabs him by the neck and bites his head off. This is like within a few seconds. And then you see his head rolling across the
street.
Car. Then the werewolf just goes straight off into the middle. You see a bus crashing, cars crashing, everything. And this is like a brutal scene. A guy falling onto the floor and getting hit by a car or whatever. Full mayhem going on now. While in the middle of this mayhem, the werewolf is running through the street.
Pandemonium.
Brilliant. Running through the streets, you can see it, the werewolf snapping at different people or whatever. You could make the argument that the werewolf might have actually bitten 1 or 2 people in this scenario.
I've heard that argument before. Yeah, like there should have been more werewolves after this.
Yeah, but there wasn't a sequel because you see the werewolf now. Nobody knows how many people. He's running, snapping at people left and right. So it is likely that the werewolf might have bitten a few people, making other werewolves. Whatever. Don't know that. No?
Yeah.
However,
I've actually heard the argument that this scene right here, where he's running through the streets biting at people, this actually caused what we see in part 2, where there's whole werewolf groups of people that entrap Americans at nightclubs in part 2. Like this is a direct spawn of what he did here in some way. I would say so, because he does bite a few people. I know he does.
I know. I mean, the thing is, it makes sense. I mean, you never actually see him bite anybody, but it makes absolute sense. Absolutely, Matt, that they brought this out from this. But American Werewolf 2 is a different situation. I would say it all because the werewolves in American Werewolf 2 come from one person. and however, the other werewolves get created in that movie. No, is a different situation. No, but I think we'll get into that when we
Okay.
do American Werewolf 2. Throughout this mayhem, you see like the doctor, now coming towards Alex in the hospital. Like, okay, there's something going on in the middle. There's a mayhem, and some mad dog is running wild. Instantly, the doctor and Alex. Okay, it's David now, and this is like I think the first time where both the doctor and the Alex actually realize they're dealing with a werewolf now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of my ferrets just scared me.
Poor guy.
However, no. Actually, it's the least angry one, Harry. But
Okay. Well, I mean, all of them are harmless to you. They're not harmless to anybody else staying at your house who's sleeping on their couch. So I still remember being attacked and kicked off the couch by Aloy.
yeah, wait, I have to go check something that I can tell you. Wait a minute, I'll go check something. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I was scared, Matt, because I thought I opened up one of the windows.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, because I looked now right to the right side. No, but the windows are all closed, so I thought one of them might got out here. No.
Okay.
However, like this is the scene where
Okay. Cool.
where the doctor and Alex realize that they're actually dealing with a werewolf, and they all can like David, blah blah blah. No. So you see for a short scene the mayhem going on.
Yeah.
A little bit more until David, the werewolf, is now cornered up into a dead end alley, and the cops walking up towards him. No. You see another cop running up, and like other police officers loading their weapons. No, because they've probably been alerted there's a wild animal running around. No,
Yeah.
and the cops in this, I think SWAT force. I'm not sure what
it's like SWAT. Yeah, it's a SWAT force.
Yeah, the SWAT force comes up. They corner the werewolf down into a dead end, and are all pointing weapons at them. No.
Mm-hmm.
In the same moment, Alex just runs through the cops, wanting to get to David, and this is the scene. Alex tries to talk to David because thinking that he's still somewhere in there. You see this short scene that's done often in werewolf movies, where you see this is also one of the scenes where you see the full werewolf, standing there looking at Alex, Then it cuts to the werewolf's face, and you can see his face going to a normal, neutral mimic for a short time until the werewolf gets angry again, and then jumps out right at Alex. Then the cops shoot the werewolf. Then Alex, of course, starts crying. Because she just a guy she just fell in love with got shot in front of her. I mean,
Pretty rough stuff.
Pretty rough.
I'd be upset too.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty rough. However, then it cuts back to David, now reverted back to human form, lying dead in the alley. Yeah, and so far that's the end of the movie. But what crazy is it instantly cuts to super happy music again in the credits.
Yeah, I know. That is used to effect a few times in this film, and I don't know why they do it, but it's brilliant and it works. Again, going back to the Evil Dead, they do the same thing at the end of the Evil Dead film, where like credit cut, horrific scene, credit cut, and then you get dun 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 dun. It's cool. I like that. It's kind of drawing off the humor in the movie. But the thing that always bothered me about this film, first of all, there's not much. There's barely anything, actually. I consider this one of those near perfect movies. Again, just like The Exorcist, just like this is the werewolf film for me. But I would have loved to have seen what happened after this and how this was explained away.
Yeah.
because the dramatic cut at the end it leaves everything open. You don't know how, if the cops covered it up, if they just said a wild animal escaped and murdered all these people. What? Because how are you going to explain this away other than saying, yeah, again, a psychopath must have escaped, some American, whatever, and he attacked a bunch of people and killed them. When obviously all the victims are covered in scratches from an animal and their heads were ripped off or bitten off. There's no way to explain any of this away, but we don't get any of that. And we assume, Mike, and we can probably talk about it when we do American Werewolf in Paris, that that movie is in the same universe, obviously, as this one, right?
Yeah.
So if the truth had been told, then everybody would know about werewolves. But nobody in that film seems to know about werewolves either. So the police obviously covered this up.
Yeah.
They had to, right?
And of course, American Werewolf 2 is taking place like 20 years later. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now this is what could make it agree, because the first werewolf in American Werewolf 2, what I'm going to say is a girl. No? This is a girl that one of the main protagonists kind of likes. No? And she is the first werewolf in this movie. No? However, the other werewolves get turned by an accident once. No? And because her parents somehow knew that she was a werewolf, her mother. So I'm going to assume that this was a young girl that somehow was bitten by the werewolf.
Well, it's her dad. Like I said, we can get to it when we get to part 2, but her dad is a werewolf in that film.
But she turned him.
Oh, right. She's the one that turned him. Ah, yeah, okay. Okay, now I remember. It's been a long time.
There's a lot we have to get into American Werewolf 2. Yeah? But however, no? It's just like, for me also, it's like this, that there's no actual conclusion to the end. What happens, that is kind of a bummer. And also, I would say it's kind of like the only other actually complaint I have is that other than for 1 or 2 really short seconds, there's not really a scene where you just fully see the werewolf. No?
Yeah.
I want to see the full monster at least once. It doesn't have to kill anybody. I just want, and that's kind of no.
You have to imagine that scene was probably shot. There probably was a scene that was shot of the full werewolf, but it wasn't effective enough for them, because you can see where this thing probably would look a little janky if you showed the whole thing, right? So without CGI and without like really, really good movie effects, that's hard to do.
Yeah,
and that's the same with anything. Like if you show a creature of any kind, we're as human beings so used to seeing wolves or so used to seeing dogs that if you see something like that, it's going to look a little bit off and it's going to take you out of the film. So for me, I'm fine with them doing it how they did it. Like it's effective enough. But yeah, it would have been nice to see the whole werewolf. I agree with you.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's really only really small stuff to the point where you consider it nitpicking. No?
Yeah.
I mean, it even breaks werewolf lore, because werewolves can be killed by anything, not necessarily only silver bullets. No?
Right.
Of course. But even if it's only 1 or 2 things, I don't really care that much. If it's as long as it's not Wolfman 2025, where there is no werewolf lore at all existing in the movie. No?
At least there's a little bit of something, and they kind of created their own lore here, which is fine too, because it's not too outlandish.
Actually not. I mean, this sticks pretty much very strongly to werewolf lore. The only thing they bring up differently is that the weaknesses of werewolves. That's where they they put that one specific thing aside.
Well, that and the victims having to roam the earth as dead people is definitely new.
Yes.
That's their own thing, and it's specific to this universe.
Right, exactly. No? But this is also a thing where I can say American Werewolf 2, even though I have major complaints about it when it comes to the werewolf
CGI
design
is awful.
And the transformation scenes. No? But still, overall, American Werewolf 2 is a good movie. It's just way more comedy than anything else. This movie is not scary. I mean, American Werewolf 2, you could watch that with 7-8-year-old kids. It's not scary.
Yeah, it's not scary. It's not scary.
It's
but
more fun.
It is gory. There is some gore in there. The second film, but at least it's done tastefully. I think one of my favorite things in part 2, and it's kind of pointless because we're going to do that movie, but a girl that he kills has to come back as undead until the werewolf curse is broken, and her character as undead, kind of stuck in limbo, is constantly trying to get him killed. She's like, I'm going to get you killed. And at one point, like, she's rotting and she sees another werewolf. So she starts like whistling to try to get its attention to come kill him. And when she does that, she whistles too hard and her eyeball pops out. And dude, that scene is fucking hilarious. I love that. I love that. But we're going to have to see when we can put that one on the schedule now. Cause now I really want to do it. Cause I haven't seen that one in ages.
Yeah.
Okay. But I love this movie. Absolutely fucking love it.
Me too. Absolutely. I love it. It's one, just like I said again, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And it is definitely one of the best werewolf movies ever made.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Dog Soldiers, arguably, I think Dog Soldiers is a completely different kind of film. It's hard to even compare these two, honestly. I think the execution of the films, both together, are done really, really well. The pacing is good. The story's excellent. The acting's good. The werewolf looks great in both films. Mm-hmm. But you can't compare them because they're almost two completely separate types of films, right? But Dog Soldiers is definitely my number 2 right after this one in terms of werewolf films. Gonna have to see which werewolf film we do next because this is turning into the werewolf podcast, so we might have to do like a couple other films before we get to the next ones.
I don't think we have another werewolf movie on the list for quite some time. Nah. Just let me check. I'm pretty sure. Nah. Because I think I already know which werewolf
it's a ways.
Is going to be the next one. I think in October, Ginger Snaps, no?
Okay, cool. That's also a great one. So that makes me happy. And that's on October, so we got time before we do another werewolf movie. That's cool. Okay.
Yes.
You got anything else?
Werewolf movie. Wait, I still have to figure out. Oh, okay. Our next werewolf movie is not until November.
Okay, November. No, November when the aliens come. Oh man. Okay, cool.
But if we can't get into that, the podcast is going to go for another 2 hours.
I know. We won't. We've already gotten everybody completely drained from us nerding out on this film. Okay. So next film we're doing is Weapons, correct?
Yes, that's the next movie. Weapons. No?
Okay. Cool. I can't wait to do that one. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard nothing but good stuff. So if you want to see us do Weapons and you've already seen it, stick around for the next podcast. And I guess that's it. So we'll see you guys next time. Yeah. Until then, I'm Matt.
I'm Mike. Bye.
We'll see you guys later.
The blackest dies. The devil.